Oh, hello there. So I've seen a few videos about making coffee when you don't have a machine. But I thought I'd make my own because I've tried all of those. Basically, I'm travelling around and they don't have English breakfast tea in any of these countries I've been to so far, so I've been drinking a lot of coffee. But obviously, to make that easy, I've been using Nescafe because you can't rely on there being a machine or anything. Sorry, not Nescafe, instant. It's not always Nescafe. I've been using instant, and I just hate it. I hate the instant coffee. But to get my caffeine hit in the morning and afternoon, I've been making do with instant. So I've been looking at those methods of making proper coffee, and haven't liked any of them. I mean, the main one that I tried was just using a sieve to get rid of the grains, get rid of the coffee grounds. But I just didn't like the taste of it. It was, and all the sediment in the bottom I didn't like. So I've basically come up with this method, which I'll show you now. So first step, fill up a cup of water. I hate people using a kettle, filling it to the top and then pouring out 1 cup's worth. It annoys the hell out of me because they're wasting electricity, they're wasting water, and they're wasting time. There's literally no upside to it. It boils quicker, uses less electricity, uses less water. I just don't get it. So anyway, while that's boiling, while I'm travelling around, I can just buy filters. I also find that coffee repeats on me a bit if I don't use a filter. But that was like £1.50, I think, for 100. So that's not a big cost. But obviously, so what I do is I tear open the filter. Cut it about there, and I just plonk it in the sieve. Sometimes it's a bit awkward to get in there. Get my coffee out. You're not going to be able to hear me in a second. Few teaspoons. I store my spoon in this little inhaler kind of thing because you don't know, do you? The surface you're using might be dirty, so I'll just put it there. I get nosebleeds. So if I pour hot water in this once a day and I inhale it for 12 minutes, it kind of keeps everything moist up there and it kind of staves off my nosebleeds. Like if I stop doing that for like 4 or 5 days, I'll get nosebleeds again. Now the issue I tend to have with making coffee, like proper coffee, is it tends to not be hot enough. So I take a couple of steps here extra just to kind of help keep the temperature high. And the first one is, once the kettle's boiled, that'll do. I pour it in there, I let it heat up the mug for a few seconds. Still not penetrated the mug, that's still a bit warm, a bit cool I mean. Interested to see how long this takes. It doesn't feel like much of a faff compared to the other methods. Because one of them said like pour it into one container to brew, and then pour it through a sieve, and then pour it from another container into the second one, but don't pour it all away so the sediment stays in the other cup. But I don't know, it still didn't taste very nice, and I had a load of stuff to clean up at the end. Right, that's probably long enough. So it's warmed up the mug, back into the kettle, just to get it back up to temperature, which is a bit annoying because you're not supposed to put boiling water over coffee anyway, are you? You're supposed to let it cool down a bit. I'll turn it off now. I just wait for it to stop making noise and I figure that's cool enough, but I don't know. Aficionados might say that that's too hot to pour over coffee. And then this is the bit that takes a bit of patience because it doesn't happen mega quickly. Just gradually put it in. You see it dripping through there? You find that at the beginning it seems to go through faster at the beginning than at the end. Not quite sure why. And I'm not interested in making a perfect cup. I just need it not to have loads of crap in the bottom and not be instant. That's all I care about really. So one thing I learnt when I was learning how to, or trying to figure out a way, was that really once the colour changes of the drip coming out, any extra that goes through is going to make it taste horrible. I can't remember the exact word they used, but so I don't actually pour all of the water through here. Spoiler alert. I get to a certain point, and then, which also helps with the temperature, I then reboil the remainder of the water and just top it up. So the idea is to make it stronger than I want for maybe that much, and then top it up with hot water to there and then milk up to there. Yeah, you see, you can tell it's going a lot slower now. I'm not quite sure why it does that. I guess it's just got more clogged up the longer we do it for. Right, let's put you back up here. Oh, where's the camera? So while that's dripping through, I'll put my sugar in. See, this bit, normally, if I'm not filming, this bit isn't quite as annoying as it seems, because normally I'm doing other stuff. I'll just kind of pop back in every minute or so and top up the water. So it doesn't feel like it's as much of a faff as it may seem just by staring at it all the time. I did put sugar in then, didn't I? Have you ever done that? Have you ever you've done something and then 10 seconds later you have no memory of doing it? And I'm doubting now whether I put sugar in there. I think there's something wrong with me. And what I like about this method is it's just dead easy to clean up. It's one sieve more difficult than an instant coffee, because I actually have in this Airbnb I've got a coffee machine, but I cannot be bothered cleaning that. The faff. And each time you go to a new Airbnb, you've got a different coffee machine possibly. You've got to learn how to use it and maybe clean it up from the people previous. I'd rather just have a consistent way of doing it everywhere I am. Okay, this might be my last bit of water to go in there. I think I'll just let that. I'll let that seep through. Where are we now? So it's nowhere near full, but it's a good way there. I'm going to turn the kettle on just to reheat the last bit of water so that the temperature keeps high. Because I like to eat cakes and stuff with me coffee. And half the time when I make coffee like this, or well, not like this, but in the past when I made coffee, it's never been hot enough, and by the time I've finished eating my cakes and sipping the coffee, the last bit of the coffee is really cold. How's that looking now? Is it? It's going to seep through soon, surely. It's close. There's a satisfying moment when you can see the last bit of the water go underneath the grains. Seems to be taking forever though. I mean, I don't need to wait. I could just throw this away. But I want to see it. Oh, is that it? Yeah, that's just happened. Wasn't that satisfying really, was it? Maybe the camera didn't pick it up as well. Okay, so that's done. And because it's stopped dripping, has it? Yeah. I can just throw it in the bin. And that's all I have to clean up. And that cupboard's only open because I'm filming and I was resting it here. So you wouldn't need to bang your head. That's an optional part of this process. And top it up to keep it warm and a decent portion. And where's my milk? My milk. I had to stop people and ask them whether this was fresh milk or not. Where's my spoon? Oh, put a bit too much milk in there. That looks like tea rather than coffee. Alright. Anyway, that's it. Let's taste it. See how it tastes. Yeah, that's alright. I think maybe I'll add... That's only like the third time I've done it, to be honest. I'm still experimenting with the amount of coffee. I think maybe I'll put a bit more coffee in next time to make it a bit stronger. Or maybe I'll fill it up higher with going through the sieve and just put a little less water in. But that's pretty good, and there's no bits in the bottom. Alright, thanks. Bye bye.